Okay, hello there. I am conducting an experiment for my extended essay to explore the vulnerabilities of an IoT device. One of the first vulnerabilities of an IoT device is that when it is connected on the network, you are able to discover it. I will show you how this is done. So you open your nearest command prompt and you type ipconfig to find out your internet gateway details. As seen from here, my default gateway is 192.168.0.1. I will use this address to scan the entire network to see who all are connected. I enter in my IP address, my default gateway address to find out who all are connected to the network, and I then run the scan. After running the scan, I've been able to identify the IoT device connected, which in this case is the Raspberry Pi. Now what tends to happen is, since other people set up the hardware such as the IoT devices, many of the times the default password isn't changed by the user. And to connect to these IoT devices, users often use platforms like VNC, which allow you to view the desktop of your IoT device. So in this case, I have got VNC viewer, and at the same time I know my Raspberry Pi's IP address, and I'm also going to find out its password. As you can see from googling in, as you can see from this Google result itself, I'm able to find out what my Raspberry Pi's default user and password is. I see this data and now attempt to interface with the GUI of the Raspberry Pi. I go to VNC viewer and type in the IP address of the Raspberry Pi. I find out that it is loading the IP address which I have given and is asking me for the default username and password. Let's stop. After I type in the address of the Raspberry Pi, it then asks me for the username and password. The default username as seen from the previous moment was Pi, and the password is Raspberry. As you can see, I now have access to the user's Raspberry Pi. Supposing this Raspberry Pi is connected to other temperature controlling devices in the house, I am immediately able to control it and access what temperature I want to change the default temperature to. So as you can see, these are the three vulnerabilities which I've covered. The first vulnerability is that the users do not change the default password on which the IoT devices are manufactured with. The second vulnerability is that the temperature controlling platform which I'm accessing right now has no password secured on it. So I'm immediately able to reach it. So that again, there is no level of security over there. And the third layer is that it is shown on the network. So anyone who does a network scan will be able to find it. Thank you.